I'm starting this one out of focus because everybody tells you that sound is even more important than video on YouTube. So this is my current microphone, and I'm going to try to not touch it because when I touch it, you're going to hear it. As you can see, it's wired up to the camera right now because this is my only microphone. When I started out, I just used the on-camera microphone, but like I said at the beginning, sound is king on YouTube. This was built by Heisz. It was one of his experiments. He sent it to me after he moved on to something else, and this is what I've been using ever since. When I started with it, I built a boom on the ceiling that could swing around. I'll throw up a picture of that too, but as you might imagine, when the microphone is mounted to the ceiling and can't move, and the camera is on the tripod and that can lead to some problems. So I built this on-camera rig. Here is a little aluminum plate which can slide into the hot shoe on the camera, so it can, it serve as an on-camera microphone, but it's a little precarious. And so after a while, I bought one of those Rode microphones, nice and compact. They're the top name, and I put it on the camera. And again, I'll put a picture up here. I showed that on Instagram back when I was testing it, and it wasn't any better than this thing. Like this, for all its goofiness, this sounded just as good as your $100 basic Rode microphone. Now I understand if I want to spend a lot more money, I can get a better microphone. But it was like, well, this is just as good as that one, so I sent it back. I'm just gonna live with this one. But since I am keeping this, I want to make this stand a little bit better. I saw an idea on Instagram from Jer's Wood Shop where he made his with a sliding dovetail so it can slide in and out. And I bought this, which is a hot shoe mount. I got this for like, $3.50 on Amazon. And this will allow me now to clamp it onto the camera, so it should be a nice solid mount. And that's what I'm going to work on today. So I had a few strips, thin bits of ash. It's really light and thin. Light is key because it's still going to be mounted on the camera. So I took some, let's see if I can get this to focus there, and I've glued together a little channel. So this doesn't even weigh a pound at this point. And the idea is now this piece is going to slide into there. And that's just going to give me a nice, it's going to give me a little bit of travel. So, I thought about like fancy clamps, I thought about like making a dovetail, and I'm like, this microphone weighs almost nothing. It's mostly not going to be moved, so I'm just going to try for just a simple friction fit sliding in and out, as thin as possible. It's an experiment. We'll see if it works. So yeah, talking about the microphone when you're still using the microphone can be awkward. I traced out the base here on a piece of scrap pine, something nice and light, and cut that out on the bandsaw. So this hot shoe mount has 1/4-20 threading, so I have a 1/4-20 T-nut which I need to mount into the bottom of this base so that the camera mount can then attach to that. This is actually my second one. I learned the hard way that these little points will split this. So this time I'm going to pre-drill before I try to insert. Right now this is just a bit too thick to get it in there, so I want to either sand it down or cut it down to size. So after cutting this one, which fits nicely, does not fall out, I thought, is it long enough? So I grabbed another piece of scrap and I ran that through to the same thickness. Now this one I can really extend out. I don't know if I would want that, but let's just think about that. So this piece is pretty thin and I have to drill a hole in there to mount the microphone, so I'm going to take another piece of scrap and I'm going to glue it crossways, sort of making my own little piece of plywood. So this is going to go on here, cross grain direction. A little dab of glue, clamp that for a half an hour or so. Just a little bit of reinforcement. I'm going to use a couple of number 6 screws to attach the mounting bar to the post. I'll put that in the vise here just to keep things fixed while I'm working on this. So I got this part and I got this part, and actually I have a longer version. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I need to drill the hole and get the microphone off the camera, and then we'll get it put all together. So this is just on the camera microphone now, because here's my microphone and here's my little hack together extendable microphone boom. It moves in, it moves out, it doesn't really fall, and really most of the time it's going to be horizontal on the camera anyways. And if I ever need to, I've got this longer boom which is hanging on the, I can just leave it hanging on the wall and I can just slide that in if I need something really long. Just about 30 inches projecting. I don't know if I'll go that far, but you know, it's easy enough just to make another piece because it's just a piece of wood. With this one I can go anywhere from about 23-24 inches down to about 14 inches, which is, you know, will cover most of the time in my small shop. And that's about it for this project. Normally I'd be showing you the project, but it's on the camera, so it's kind of hard to do that. A little bit light on the woodworking this time, but still a fun little project. I hope you found something interesting. If you feel I've earned it, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time. In case you're curious, this is how I got some of the shots. Big elastic band wrapping my tablet to the tripod.